Hi guys, this is me, Bob. I'm a pancreatic cancer survivor, 7 years tomorrow. I was whippled 7/12/2012. A lot of big stories behind that, but anyway, we're in McClure, which is where I lived for the last 5 years. This is the big town of McClure. I just recently realized it floods, and on my end of town, which is a little lower than this, is behind it is the post office. Now this is what they call Bridge Street, and a little later on we'll be up closer to 2nd Street. Right now we'll go ahead and start moving a little bit, and then I'll turn around and you'll see Route 3 and 146, which they're fixing to shut down because the water is so high in East Cape, which is between me and them, that the Army Corps of Engineers and everybody else has been out there really having to sandbag and evacuate people, and they've got power shut down, and it's just a real big mess. But I live on the very edge of this mess. My neighbor, he's lived here his whole life, which you can sort of tell the people that have lived here longer and know what's going on because they kind of become accustomed to it and they take the precautions needed. Me, I'm still green, new, and all this and that. So. But anyway, a little bit about myself. I was 42 years old when they diagnosed me with stage 2B pancreatic cancer. Worked at a job for 18 years, married to a woman for 11 years. Everybody pretty well just, took it into consideration that I would not live very long. Well, I'm beating the odds, let's just say that. And so, I'm disabled and I don't get out. But my neighbor's got this boat, he let me borrow it. And so I figured I'd come out and make a video because I do like making a lot of silly videos. They have reason to believe that it came up with the cancer chemotherapy, a big fish. Big fish. But as you can hear, Route 3 is getting closer, semis and all this and that. Now, I don't know how close I'll be able to get with their little putt-putt boat. We'll adjust it in a second. That and critters. Watch for critters. I hate critters. I don't know what. Turtles, frogs, stuff as such. I have no idea of what they are. Some are poison, some are not. I just stay away from all. I'm going to slow down a little bit because I don't want to go too much further than this telephone pole, just because earlier I did a check and yeah, it was about as close as you really want to get. And I'd be knowing if I'm going to have to wait through this all the way back home. But I do a little zigzag just to give you a different view. I have the camera setting very carefully because it's also my phone, which my daughter calls my leash. We'll go ahead and turn around. This is a lot behind my house. And this is Route 3 that you'll see heavily. Cars and all that Route 3. They're going to get stopped off. But last year I had a little meet and greet at Capitol Hall Park to give a awareness type thing, just because I like to share. And not many, nobody showed up, but hey, I was out there, I did the deal. You can see on my Facebook, and I like to make people think that sure it was a great big success just because, you know what, if it wasn't, maybe it could have been. Somebody else would have done it. But I tried. Wind's blowing pretty good here. You see here's the truck. We're going to get out here in the middle. So. Yep, there is a truck out on Route 3. I know you'll be able to see it. Sit here and float. I like to make a few short videos of things that have come to pass, things that I would like to see pass. There they are. I know you see them stopped now. We're going to head on back to the house. Couple things I did do. I soloed an airplane. There's another duck. I'm sorry, another decoy. Duck decoy. But at Cape Airport, I did get to fly a Cessna 150. I soloed 3 times. It took me a lot of hours to do it because the first time I went up, my instructor, we got about 900 feet in the air, and I screamed, cried like a woman, "Please put me on the ground, put me on the ground!" And then I got back to the shop, and they all laughed at me, so I had to go back. And the second time I taxied, the third time I took off, and the fourth time we flew around, and I did that for 70 hours until I got too high blood pressure and diabetes. And then they figured out all that was because of the 2-inch tumor on the head of my pancreas. But I had the surgery. It's ironic how fast it all happened. It was a blur almost. But I went in for a gallbladder at St. Francis Medical Center here locally in Cape Girardeau. And they removed my gallbladder and they noticed the tumor or something. And so they did biopsy, blah, blah, blah. That was on a Friday, on Thursday. Anyway, so I didn't hear nothing about it. I got released, no big deal. But a Friday, I got a call at 3 o'clock. Said, we did some tests, and you got pancreatic cancer, and you need to be at Dr. Steven Strasberg's office at the Center for Advanced Medicine in St. Louis Monday morning. And that was Friday at 3 o'clock. Can't you believe I got drunk that weekend? So Monday we go in there and the doctor says no booze. 30 days from now, no booze. If you have any booze, you're not going to have this surgery because I'm going to have you die on the table. So for 30 days I quit drinking, but my ex-wife and her family, they were alcoholics as bad as I was. We had to turn around and I had to disassociate myself from them enough to where I didn't drink. And so then I had my surgery and I come out of recovery and she showed up, or was her son. They'd been bar hopping and they got ran out of the recovery room. So they went on back to Cape, Jackson area, 2 hours away. And I stayed up there for 3 or 4 days and I got tired of it, so I got to get out of here. So 5 days after my Whipple surgery, I was out of the hospital. And then I went through 12 rounds of chemo, which was 6 months. And that killed me. It destroyed my teeth. I lost 65 pounds. I lost all body weight, mass, strength. And that's basically how I ended up disabled. But she couldn't handle it, and I couldn't handle the opioids. I was on 75 milligram fentanyl patches, 10 milligram hydrocodones, 5 milligram oxycodones. And it was about 300 pills a month total, and I had to get off of them. And so I started using cannabis in Missouri, which was against the law back in 2013. she called the police and had me arrested. And so I moved to Illinois and I got on the program, and now it's illegal. Who would have thought I'd outlive to see that? But I am living on disability. I'm not ashamed to say it because, you know, God's blessed me well enough with good neighbors, a wonderful daughter that helps take care of me. We're going to do a little circle here. We're at the corner of my house and my neighbor's house who let me borrow the boat. So we're going to do a little bit of circle. And you'll be able to see them. And this is looking south from Duncanville Road. And it's basically a nice little 36 feet. And then that is coming up on my neighbor's house. And we are back to where we were headed. We're going to head right on up to my house. So I moved over here 5 years ago, and I'm homebound. I don't drive. I don't have a vehicle because I can't afford the insurance. I don't get any food stamps because, well, if I can get by with what I got, I can get by with what I got. It's a fair way to put it. This is probably 4 feet deep here, and it tapers. The ground tapers, and I just happen to be sitting on about 3 cinder blocks where my house is. Foundation, which is just enough to get me out of the water. My garage has got about a foot in it. But luckily, everybody else's houses are up off the ground. We had a little bit of donations from ABC to build walking platforms from houses to houses to where they could almost get up to my house. But, well, we ran out of skids, and now we can only get about halfway, which is enough that it's only knee deep, right? I mean, be thankful for that, right? Well, I'm going to spin us around. We're going to float and talk a sec, and then I'll end this video. But as you can see, this is one of the walking platforms that my neighbor has built, and he built everything for him. And they walk right through that platform. We're about 2 foot of water right now. And everybody has to park there. There is my house. There is the walking platform that he built for the other neighbor, that both of them are completely disabled. And that is the corner of Duncanville Road, which is my house, and 2nd Street. Let's see how close we can get you. But once we get to the point where I can't get you in any closer, I'll have to stop. And I'll stand up and I'll show you where the sandbagging for most of Blur has happened, which is some silly bar at the end of the road. Yes, I am prejudiced because I don't drink. As my daughter would like to say at some point in time, Dad, that's crazy. Anyway, you want to see how crazy can be? Here we go. Here's crazy. I use the blue pool for my dog to get in and out of the house because I have to walk her up the road to get dry ground to pee and poop on. And right now we're underneath the eaves of my house. Just gonna get you out of the sun. There you go. And we're gonna rotate out, and I'm gonna call this done. I just want to say thank you to Faith Fellowship, who streamlines their, that's my front porch, streamlines their services. I am a media member. God bless y'all and have a great day.